channel. So today I want to talk about just a few things that I've learned along my fitness journey and the mistakes that I made. A lot of people don't talk about the mistakes they made, but there is a lot of growth that takes when you're going into this fitness journey, learning about your body, learning about, your hormones, learning about what works for you, what doesn't work for you, what weight you should lose, and then knowing that you have your own personal goals. So you have to find the workout routine that works toward your personal goals. And then also educating yourself on nutrition and understanding food, because the more that we can learn about the nutrition aspect of fitness, the more that we can implement into our lives, so where we don't have to overwork ourselves out, because it truly is 80% in the kitchen and the rest on the field, which is working out. Because you can work out so much, and if your diet is poor, you don't really see the most results that you should. And that's what I suffer from, and I'm going to give you guys some tips on what to look out for when you're on your fitness journey, and how to narrow down what works best for you, and then start implementing it and seeing results. Number one, it's going to be your calorie intake. Whether you are trying to build muscle, you're going to want to intake more calories, more than what you are burning. And then if you are losing weight, or you want to lose fat, you will need to eat in a deficit, which means you will need to eat less than what you are burning. So I didn't know that when I started my fitness journey. So I was doing a lot of cardio and I wasn't eating a lot. So in this picture I show right here, this is me when I did a lot of cardio, not eating a lot, and I was losing weight rapidly. Although it wasn't a bad shape, it wasn't what I was aiming toward. I was aiming more toward the weight I had, just more toned, more fat loss. But what I was losing there was just weight. So I started to eat again. I started to bulk up, but I didn't realize that even though I was still working out, I was eating over what I was working out, because I started to gain more of an appetite, and I started to lean more toward the food that I normally used to eat, because I went from being a straight vegan, low calorie, barely eating, to adding in meat again, adding in, dairy and all that sort of things. So my weight picked up good, but it picked up really, really fast. So I gained my weight back up really fast. And this is here. Now you can see here, you can see my shape is starting to define. And I noticed that too, because that was more what I was aiming for, is my hips to be more out, my butt to be lifted higher, and of course my waist in. As you can see, my waist isn't as in yet, because this is when I told you I was eating over the calorie consumption that I was supposed to be eating. So now that I have incorporated the calorie deficit, I'm not even gonna say that word again, but deficit, then now I have been seeing my fat loss, and it's been more so in my inches, and like my pants and my clothing, and just the way certain things fit me now, because my butt is more out. There are still some pants that can be too tight, because my butt's lifted higher than what it was prior. So I can't say that I had ended up going up in like a pant size that way, but then my waist got smaller. So like some pants that I did have fits me better in the waist now and makes my butt look higher. So I can say that with this way of me eating, with eating in the low calorie deficit, and then still doing my same workout, has given me better results. So I would recommend really making sure that you're intaking the proper calories to what you're trying to do, because it's going to be 80% nutrition and then the 20% of working out. Number two, the type of workout that you are trying to do. So you have to realize what your target is, whether it's lifting the butt, building the butt, strengthening the legs, strengthening the arms, building abs, or just having a flatter core. Some people don't want abs. So if you don't want abs, you don't have to do all those extra ab workouts that people do. You can stick to deep core workouts. You can stick to regular ab workouts. and add in a lot more of your full body workouts or your full body cardio circuits. That way it'll target the abs but not give it that ab look, more just flat. So just learning different things of what to do when you are working out is best. Like even for me, I had to learn certain leg workouts that I was aiming to specifically target, like my hamstrings. I didn't realize how flat my hamstrings were in the back. So now that I've done more hamstring works out over the past couple months, I have more definition back there that it shows my butt higher and it has my legs matching. So it's really important to know what workouts you're trying to target, whether you're trying to target your lower ab. Like for me, I never realized I had a fupa. I thought that it was just normal. But when I started doing more of the lower abdomen workouts, I started seeing how that was flattened right there. Even like on the top of my thigh area has been shaving more slimmer because of those workouts, which is really important when you're purchasing jeans, because that's that area where you have to zip up. And sometimes if you do have that fupa or a little bit more weight down there, you can't zip up your pants that good right there. So those are certain things that I learned to do when I work out to target areas. Like even with my arms, I focus more on tricep workouts, and then I do a lot of chest press, like workouts that target right here at the top of the chest and underneath the breast so it can be lifted. So you can look that up on the internet. I came together with a routine, which we'll talk about next, that targets each area that I mainly focus on. That way it benefits me. So you have to not only know what your nutrition intake is, you have to know what areas of your workout you're trying to target and build. If you're trying to work the whole body and change everything, that's good, but you still have to break it down and find your targets, because you can work out your entire body and still not get the results you want because you're not targeting the specific areas you want to see. Because you can work out your whole body, you can say you want your whole body perfect, but for me, I started with my legs. I knew that my legs would be my strengthening point, so I started to build up my legs. So I focused on my legs a lot. I didn't really work on my upper body as much. Now I have started to incorporate my upper body over the past 4 months. But in my beginning journey, it was really just my legs that was my target, and then I moved over to my arms and my body. I know if I'm losing my voice. So routine. Now that we know that nutrition needs to be taken in effect, you need to know your calorie intake. You need to know where you're going to start your target at, what your target areas are, what are your specific things you are looking to see in the progress of your workouts on your body. Then you go into the routine. This is creating the routine. This is the entire routine from what you're eating to what you're working out on. For instance, for me, I found the meats that I can eat. I can eat salmon. I like chicken breast, chicken thigh, and I like ground beef, grass fed. That's pretty much it when it comes to my meats. I don't really experiment with shrimp, trout, all that other stuff, because number one, it's kind of hard to season some of those meats and change up the flavor. So it can start to become a waste of money of just buying different fish and trying different flavors and maybe liking it and maybe not, when I know for a fact these 4 different meats I can season up anyway and like it. So that's why I chose them. So you have to start thinking about those type of things when it comes to food and how to categorize and feed yourself. Vegetables, and only certain vegetables I like. So I pick the vegetables I like. Honestly, I like a lot of vegetables, but there are some particular ones. Like I'm not a big fan of zucchini. I can eat zucchini, but it's not something I can eat every month. It's kind of like every other month. I don't eat squash. I love Brussels sprouts. I like asparagus, but asparagus is again like a every other month for me, because you can only cook it in so many different ways. So I like vegetables. I can mix up Brussels sprouts. You can make it sweet, savory, salty, plain. You know, you can add it in and season it any type of way. So I pick bell peppers because they're more versatile. You can do a lot with them. Onions is always a must. I like, what other vegetables are there? Oh, broccoli, cauliflower, green beans, corn. I always make sure there's a vegetable a part of every meal. Even when I'm eating breakfast, I will like add like an avocado, or I'll add a fruit like a banana, or I'll make like little juice shots and I'll take a juice shot. But I try to make sure that every meal has a fruit or vegetable in place so that way it can help with my calorie deficit. So also with the meat, I know the meat I like, another veggie I like. Now the starch and, you know, the potatoes and rice. I pick a particular potato, particular rice. I can cut them up or I can boil them, I can mash them, I can bake it. That's the one good thing about potatoes. You can switch it around. Same thing with sweet potatoes. You can also switch around the seasoning. You can add it on top of a salad. I like to buy kale for my salad. I find that it's easier to make salads with kale. Spinach is okay, but spinach can become like those little sticks on the end. You gotta cut them off. It's just too much. I feel like kale is the most simplest thing to slice off and make into a salad. So it's my favorite. Plus, kale is really good for you. So it's a really good choice. And then kale lasts as long in the fridge. Like, I can have kale in the fridge for like 3 weeks and it won't turn colors, nothing won't happen to it. So that's another good thing about learning about nutrition, is learning how long certain foods you like last so you can know how you can spread it out and eat it. Like, so that's kind of like, and that's why I said it takes years. It took me like 2 years to learn all this because I had to learn myself. I had to learn the nutrition. I had to see how it worked with my body. I had to see if I can eat it every day. I had to really test out seasonings. It's like, it's a lot to it. So it's really important when you come with your routine that you're paying attention to the things you put in your body and what you like. Because the more you know what you like, the more you can get your meals down packed, the less food you can eat, and then the more money you start saving. And then one thing I learned was switching over to cooking my own food and, you know, all that type of stuff. It's hard for me to eat out now because I know how to make some of those things that are now at the restaurant, and I know how to make them to my liking, to my tweaking with my seasoning and things I like to add to it. So it's just really good to have that down packed. So you know you need to have your calorie intake, what you need to put in your body, how much. Then you know what target areas you're going to work on for when you work out. You know, you're strengthening, what kind of cardio you're going to do, what kind of cardios you like. If you're an elliptical person, honestly, all cardios work. It just depends on what kind of person you are, whether you're a bicycle person, whether you're an elliptical person. Of course, always walking and running can burn more calories initially, but running can take a toll on your body, especially if you're not used to it, especially if it's not something you think you can do consistently, or you're not prepared to train and be able to do it consistently. You might as well stick to the elliptical, the bicycles, or if you want to do the Stairmaster, you can. For me, I honestly do the elliptical or the treadmill, or I just walk around my apartment regularly. So, oh, I also do the row machine too. So you can just pick, I switch off just what I feel like. And then, of course, my strengthening, I find out what areas I want to target. I look at the workouts to see what workouts will work for those. And then I put them in my list. And then I have my routine, which we know the routine is everything you making every week and what you're working out every week. And you learn that by trial and error and trying it out. And then here's one more thing I want to go over. Last but not least is consistency. It's important to know the consistency of what you are doing. So if you are saying for the first month or two, I'm going to do 2 to 3 times a week, you have to be consistent with it. Even if you're not doing the whole workout, even if you just went over a calorie intake. Like for me, sometimes I get a little bit greedy and I'll go over my calorie intake. I just know the following day, I need to be a little bit more minimized. So I learned that way to keep me balanced, because sometimes you don't feel super hungry to eat all those calories you're supposed to. And the next day you probably do feel super hungry. And it's just, long as you're staying consistent with what you're doing and not like just messing up the whole schedule, you will be okay. And you also have to stay consistent with your workouts, like just going to the gym. Like sometimes I will just go and do a 10-minute elliptical and like maybe 2 or 3 ab workouts and go lay down, but I at least went and did something. And when you start doing that, then when it's time for you to go to the gym and you don't feel like it, you can just go, because you already know, like, I'm gonna still get the workout in. Like, it's just, the consistency builds the resilience. It really does. And I feel like with consistency also helps you with finding what works for you. So the more you do it, the more you learn, the more you figure out, like, I don't like this, I like this, I don't like this, I like that, or this worked for me, or look at the results I got from this, so I'm going to do more of this. So that's how you start to find your workout routines for you, your food for you, and then it'll become easier to meal prep better, because then and then one thing I love about the meal prep is, like, now I'm excited for my own meals. You know what I'm saying? Because I cook them how I know I'm going to like it, because I've tried it before. I've done it before. And now I'm in a repetition of it. So when I do eat now, my meals are more enjoyable. They're more fulfilling. And I also feel like I feel more empowered, like more strengthened by the food than when I was typically eating out and eating wherever I didn't feel like that. So it's just really important to have your calorie intake in. It's important to have your routine together. It's important to be consistent with it. And it's important to know what you're trying to target and what your progress is. You don't always have to be on the scale. Your progress can be that you've been going to the gym 2 months, 3 times a week. Now, you may not have lost all that weight, but you've been at the gym for 2 months. You've done your calorie intake every single day without missing a day. Those are the small wins you can gain, because those are the ones that's going to really help you lose the weight in the long run. Because the more you can get grounded with your food and grounded with your workout, the more the results will come. So I hope this video helped you guys, and you have a great day. Bye.